Hi there everybody, it's Marty from owingsart.com, and thanks for stopping by. And I just wanted to spend a little time. First of all, I want to say Happy New Year, and then I want to just talk a little bit about what's coming up on the channel and just take a little quick look back on stuff that happened in 2015 and some of the videos that I did for the channel and different reviews and stuff like that. But first of all, like I said, I just want to say, hey, Happy New Year. Thanks for all the support on the channel in 2015, and thanks for all the regular subscribers who comment and ask questions and offer suggestions for the channel. I've got a really nice backlog of review requests built up, and I just wanted to at least take a little time and share with you what some of the upcoming reviews are going to be. I keep a list, so if you request a product to be reviewed, or you need information, or you want to see a demonstration or whatever, I do keep a running list of all that. Now, maybe you put in a request in recent months and you say, hey, when's he going to put that on the channel? Well, tonight I'm going to talk about a little bit about that and when it comes up. Because I get a lot of requests, there's more time between when somebody asks for it and when I actually get the request now than ever before on the channel, just because I get more and more requests all the time. But let's talk a little bit about what's coming up. Okay, so the other day, or not long ago, I did a graphite wash video on used a Faber-Castell Aquarelle graphite wash pencil just to demonstrate that. Well, somebody on the channel had requested, hey, could you do a comparison of graphite wash pencils, different types? So I'll go back to the Faber-Castell and we'll see how that holds up against the Derwent sketching pencil. These are this is a dark wash, but they also make a medium and a light wash pencil. And then also Watercolor makes a pencil they call the Graphite Aquarelle pencil. These are made in Austria, but they are a graphite wash as well. So we'll compare 3 different types of graphite wash pencils, and then that may help you select which one you want to use. And at least I'll demonstrate how they compare against each other. The next thing I'm going to do is a review of some inexpensive graphite pencils by Pentel. So somebody had dropped a note not long ago and said, hey, could you check out these pencils? They're pretty inexpensive and just want to see how they compare to other graphite pencils and what your recommendation might be. So I picked these up at my local art store, Wet Paint in St. Paul, Minnesota. If you don't and haven't been to Wet Paint, you're not familiar, they have a great online selection as well. So you can go to wetpaintart.com and check that out. Tell them I sent you, and they'll help fix you up and square you away. Somebody else recently on the channel, a subscriber, asked for a review on these Marshal pencils. I'd never heard of these, so I thought, hey, it'd be good to pick them up and try them out. I think they're used in like photo retouching and things like that, but they're a bunch of different colors here in 2 different sets. So I'll try those out, give them a try, and see how they do. And then yeah, so the list gets long. You know, back to graphite. Have you ever heard of watercolor graphite? So this is water soluble, printable, erasable, like it says there, made by Art Graph. So I thought I'd give those a shot, and this is kind of right up my alley. I love graphite and charcoal and the effects you can get from those. It's really nice, interesting drawings you can create with this. So I thought I'd give that a shot. And then, as many of you know, if you're regular subscribers to the channel, I just love Daniel Smith watercolors. And this was an exclusive set that came out not long ago by a master watercolor artist named Alvaro Castagnet, and this is his, and I don't know, there's probably a fancier Spanish pronunciation of that name, but that's how I say it. Anyway, this comes with 10 different colors, and I thought, wow, that looked really cool. I picked it up at a decent price, again at Wet Paint, and I thought I would give those a shot and you know, compare them to the other Daniel Smith reviews that I've done before. They hardly ever you know, disappoint me, and as a matter of fact, I've never been disappointed by Daniel Smith watercolors. I just love this company and the paints they produce. They're just awesome. And then a subscriber said, hey, will you check out these Wopex pencils made by Stettler? I'd never heard of these, but this is not a wood casing. This is a manufactured kind of man-made casing. I know it looks kind of like wood. Maybe it's meant to look like that. But these are a man-made casing, and they're virtually unbreakable from what I hear. I mean, I'm sure you can break them with a chainsaw or a sledgehammer or something, but I thought I'd check those out. Those are made by Stettler. They're called the Wopex, so thank you for suggesting that. And there's a very famous Mitsubishi pencil, and these aren't inexpensive, but this one happens to be a very soft, very dark 10B pencil, and I wanted to check it out. And those of you that are familiar with the channel know that I have a strange, odd affection for pencils. I just love pencils, and they're sort of the basis for where we all start as kids, whether it's a crayon or a Crayola or a simple, humble number 2B pencil. We all start somewhere. Anyway, I love this Mitsubishi pencil company, and I wanted to try out the 10B, which is a very soft pencil. Another thing people have been asking me a lot about is, could I do a review on various types of water brushes, or water pens, as they're sometimes called. And I have a bunch of these, so I thought we could I could do a comparison on these. They're made by, like, Pentel makes some nice ones. Faber-Castell makes their own now. Even Caran d'Ache has gotten into the game with their own water pen. We can check that out. And people have been asking me, is it just for watercolor painters, or can you do ink in these? And if the ink is water soluble, I think no problem. You shouldn't have a problem using these. I've seen artists use these filled with ink as an ink brush. So that's kind of cool. So I'll do a review on those and compare the different types with different kinds of media, and maybe even try some ink as well. A lot of people have said, hey, how come you don't use Dr. P.H. Martin's watercolors? You know, they're ink watercolors. This happens to be the Radiant set that I got for Christmas, but there's also a Hydrus set, and I think another set besides that. But I have this Radiant set, and so I'll be doing a review of these, and you can see it's a pretty big set, a lot of different colors, so that should be fun. Never really tried their watercolors at all. I have tried the Winsor & Newton inks and used them like watercolors, but never tried these P.H. Martins, so that should be interesting. So stay tuned for that. That's coming as well. And then people were asking me a lot about these different types of, like, Japanese and Chinese and American-made ink pens, ink brushes. So I thought I'd try out a variety of these. There's Kuretake in here. There's Pentel. There's a Bimoji in here as well, I think. I can find it. But yeah, just all different kinds of, there's a Kuretake Bimoji pen, Japanese-made ink pen. Got a couple extra refills here too, and I got a different Pentel pen as well that I'll try out, but I thought maybe, based on suggestions I'm getting, that would be a good one to do too. And now on my list, in addition to that, I keep a little book of a running list here. I've got the Milan's colored pencils that I already ordered, the Prismacolor Scholars, which are a student grade colored pencil made by Prismacolor, Lyra Rembrandt Aquarelle, which is a watercolor pencil, and then of course those are the Radiants, but I also want to try the Dr. P.H. Martin. These are the Radiants, but I also want to try the Hydrus and the Bombay. A recent subscriber had asked me to do a review of the Lucas 1862 Aquarelle watercolors. I know that I've used the Lucas oil paints before, the 1862 Lucas oil paints, but I never tried the watercolors, so stay tuned for that. In addition to all of those different reviews that are coming up on the channel, I would also like to do more drawing demonstrations. A lot of people have asked me, like, okay, how do you draw hands? And I did a video on that, and that's out there, and you can go check that out. But also, how do you draw eyes, the nose, the ear? What's the best technique for drawing faces or bodies and things like that? So I've done a lot of figure sketching over the years, so I wouldn't say I've mastered the techniques for all of those different various pieces of the anatomy, but I have got some training and technique that I've developed over the years that help to simplify the process and make it easier for new artists to begin making more realistic drawings. So if you're used to drawing your hands and you're like, I'm going to avoid the fingers and just draw this flat contour because it's hard to draw the fingers, I'll show you how, in that video that I already have out there, how to draw fingers in a more simplified way. And the same goes for other parts of the anatomy, the face, the torso, and legs, and things like that. So that's that's it for what's coming up on the channel. And I should quickly mention that I'll be doing a second season of Art Adventures, the video series I did last year, which was great over the spring, summer, and fall. And the channel reacted really well to that. So I've got some new cool things planned for that, with some more professional type videography and just going to different locations and just engaging with people and getting out there and sketching in the field and kind of doing things the way artists used to do back in the old days, when they got out there and actually, before the days of the internet and things like that, where they actually had to go in the field and sketch. So I still love to do that, and I'll get back out there this summer, spring and summer. So looking back at the year the year that was 2015, I realized that I had done just a ton of reviews. Now I filled this book, I mean, and here I'll show you a few things. Just go through a few of these pretty quickly. You know, this is a watercolor review, another watercolor for Grumbacher, the drawing demo for that. Here's Daler and Rowney watercolors. Here's a Kohinoor, the Mondeluz watercolor review that I did. You know, Karen Dosh. This was the Supracolor video. All these videos are out there. Then I compared, like I wanted to do a 4-hour light fast test on some of the different watercolor and watercolor pencils that I use. So yeah, I did that. The Stettler Carrot watercolor pencil. Just did a bunch of reviews on watercolor papers. Here's a Prismacolor watercolors. Here's that Faber-Castell graphite wash. Remember the Winsor & Newton watercolor markers? Go check that video out. Those are pretty cool. Did a little video of those. And tons of pencil videos too. Here's the Pentel Arts colored pencils. These Fine Tech, the skin tone pencils. Just a lot of different sampling of different watercolor papers. This is a brilliant handmade watercolor paper from the Moulin de Baroque in France. You can buy those. The Marco Raffini pencils, Spectrum Noir, goes on and on. Faber-Castell, just Daniel Smith, the 66 Try It sample set. What else do I have here? More Daniel Smith. I love Daniel Smith. They're awesome. This is the Tombow Rogetin Derwent Color Soft, Derwent Inktense. Remember the Brunzeel, those Dutch-made pencils? I remember doing that. I forget if this is 2015 or late 2014, but that was fun. Great pencils. The Lyra Rembrandt colored pencils. A little pin up there. What do we got here? The Karen Dosh Museum Aquarelle. Very, very, very nice watercolor pencils. Probably my favorite in the world. The Soho 72 color. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on. So, don't want to bore you too much with that, but another Museum Aquarelle. Look at how rich the reds are in there. And I've had this like sitting around for, I don't know what, a year? Yeah, so stacks of this stuff. Karen Dosh Luminance pencil. Polychromos, the very famous Polychromos pencil made in Germany. Prismacolor Premier, the brand that used to be great. Quality's kind of fallen off. Some of the lesser known brands like Rose Art, you know. People are always like, hey, you're willing to review even the less expensive pencils, and I always am. I love doing that because not everybody can afford the really expensive pencils, or art supplies. There's a Prismacolor Verithin pencil made in Mexico, and now the list just goes on and on. Ticonderoga, the Dixon colored pencils, Faber-Castell Max Colored Eco. All of them are on the channel. If you want to see those individual reviews, go check them out. But I mean, it's just a ton of reviews that, looking back, it's amazing how much stuff you can get done in a year. It's great. I think we're like at 6,500 subscribers, and when I started this, I had just planned to do a couple pencil reviews, and that's it. And it's just kept going and kept going and kept going, and it's all because of all of the support I receive on the channel and the great interaction I have with all of you, the subscribers. And so just a huge thank you to all of you for making this possible, and just being kind of loyal viewers of the channel, and just really appreciate it. And so a big shout out to all my regular subscribers. I can think of a number of them that have just been great. Super Flawless has been there just about from the beginning. Super Flawless 9, Patrick, thank you for subscribing to the channel. Shannon, she knows who she is. Thanks for subscribing and being so great at interacting. There's just a whole ton of people that I really appreciate who have been regular subscribers from the beginning, and also new subscribers who are just interacting a lot, asking a lot of great questions. I should also give a shout out to Lindsay, the Frugal Crafter, who has just been a great supporter of the channel. And if you haven't checked out her channel, you really should. Lindsay not only does great craft work, she's just an outstanding artist, and just really fun to watch her create and do things with the craft supplies and art materials she reviews. And then there's another guy named Steve. He's the Mind of Watercolor guy. If you go out there and search YouTube, you'll find him. He is simply outstanding. His watercolors are some of the best you're going to find. He's a master watercolorist. He does great reviews. He's entertaining, funny. I love Steve and going to watch his videos all the time. Sometimes I just click play all on the playlist, and it just goes through a series of a bunch of his videos, and I can spend a night just watching Steve do reviews and demonstrations with watercolor and things like that. Just please keep the suggestions coming. I've got that backlog, but I'm knocking it down and adding to it every day. Keep the questions coming and the feedback. Lastly, that's what I wanted to ask before I forget. To improve on anything, no matter how good you might think it is, and or where you think you might be at, you need to ask for feedback once in a while. I think most smart people do that. They say, okay, how can I get better? What things can I do to improve? How can I help entertain or engage the people on the channel a little bit more? So I'd like to ask you that. So if you've watched this video all the way to the end, thank you. And as a reward for that feedback, which I always appreciate, I would ask a couple things. Give me the feedback direct, and don't worry if it's critical or whatever. As long as it's constructive, I accept it. Even, people sometimes don't have the best approach to sharing criticisms or feedback, or I should say their suggestions with you. That's okay. I'm okay with that. I get pretty thick skin, so as long as you're not cursing me out, I'm happy to listen to the feedback and receive it well. I'm always humbled and appreciative of the feedback I get. So if you have suggestions for how to improve the channel, some things you'd like to see different. I know, like, one suggestion I got not long ago was from Super Flawless 9. He said, hey, I really like the 2-angle camera work you're doing now. I picked up an additional GoPro, so I'm able to film from 2 angles, which he thought was good. And I took that suggestion, and now I do most of my videos that way. So any suggestions like that, or just content, or maybe you just think I should talk less and demo more, or maybe I should talk more, or there's something I'm not explaining the right way, I really appreciate that, because that's the only way to improve. Really, sometimes you run out of ideas yourself, and it's always good to open it up to suggestions and feedback. So to the reward piece. So I'm going to take some suggestions, so please keep them coming. And I'll pick like the top 5, or we'll have a vote on them, or do something. But anyway, among those top 5, I'll narrow it down to like 3. And of those 3, I'd like to send out some kind of, giveaway. So I don't want to say what's going to be in it right now. It'll be a surprise, but I'll pick the top 3, or we'll do it collectively, and I can send that out to the folks who offer good suggestions. And they don't have to be nice. Don't be afraid to share direct feedback. Like I said, I appreciate it. All right, so that's it for now. Thanks for sticking around to watch this whole video. And I got a whole load of stuff that I'm going to review soon. I'm really excited about it and happy that you guys are tuned into the channel and offering up all these suggestions, and just can't wait to do all these. So stay tuned to the channel. This is all coming to you, and I'll have more art demonstrations, as I said. So that's it for tonight, and just appreciate you tuning in, and thanks a lot for subscribing to the channel and sharing the video. And don't forget to check out the other videos on the channel. Well, that's it. It's been Marty from OwingsArt.com. Thanks again for stopping by. Have a great day.